Hey guys, Jimmy, and today we're on Twitter once again. We're actually on one of Aaron's tweets. Also, I'll leave his Twitter down in the description down below if you guys want to go follow him on Twitter. But really quickly, he's also bought all the starters to try and shiny hunt, like I have as well, or gleam hunt also. And from that, he went ahead and got all of the personalities just to see what they did. I deleted mine, so I couldn't actually do that. But I want to use his tweet just to talk about it. My webcam actually is going to be away, so I will turn it off just for this. But as you can see, we have also 6 stats, technically 7, because also there's health. But in Pokemon as well, Pokemon also has natures, which can increase and decrease specific stats. But also for health isn't affected by any natures, and it looks like any personalities in this game. So from Pokemon also has their personalities, which will increase a stat by 10% and will decrease another stat by 10%, which also gives it a nature. There's also the chance that you can get a nature on Pokemon where it will increase the stat by 10%, but also decrease the same stat, which means you just don't get a boost. So there's that. But anyway, so in this game we have personalities, so they are not natures, so they're just like, this are natures, but it's pretty much like their personalities is what they're calling them. And also you can get 2 of these, but also now in Loomian Legacy we can get 1 of them. So also you've got your Hyper, which also increases your energy, and Dull, which will decrease your energy. Brawny increases your physical attack, or your melee attack, is what it is actually referred to as in Loomian Legacy. Rail also decreases that. Robust increases your physical defense or melee defense. Tender decreases that. Smart increases your special attack or range attack in Loomian Legacy. Clumsy also decreases that. Clever raises your special defense or, well, melee defense, whatever. No, range defense. Foolish will decrease that. Then also Nimble can increase your speeds. And Sluggish will decrease your speed. Also, there's no health. I don't think they probably will add one in for health, most likely. I mean, also from how many starters it looks like everyone else has bought. Aaron also went ahead and made this, so it looks like with how many he bought, he didn't get any that increases health, so we can assume that there just won't be any personalities that will increase health. But also, from also, like I said, from Pokemon, there's always, if you want to a good nature, you will always have to sacrifice another stats. That also will get decreased. So for example, for Jolly in Pokemon, that is to increase speed but to decrease special attack. Obviously that's stuff like for like Garchomp. Garchomp also is fairly quick, so for Garchomp also you want to have more speeds and to have less special attack, unless also you're in a mix set with like Fire Blast, and you probably want to decrease special defense then, obviously. So in that situation, like obviously you try and get the best nature for your Pokemon. And then also you would want to try and increase the stat that you mostly want increased, and to decrease the stat that obviously you less likely need. Also, for something like for Alakazam or Gengar, you probably want Timid, that's like increased speed and to decrease physical attack. You might want Adamant, which also is to increase attack and to decrease special attack. Also the opposite of that one, to increase special attack and decrease attack, is Modest. But obviously, in Pokemon, there's only 5 stats to work with. In Loomian Legacy, also there is 6, because also energy is now a thing. So there's also that. It doesn't really change too much, because like I said, you don't actually need to have an increase in stat paired with a decrease in stat. So the worst abilities or the worst personalities that you can actually get in Loomian Legacy is just a single one of these. It actually turns out that it is a rare case, not too rare, but it's not like a stupidly rare chance to actually get one of these, but it's somewhat rare, and it actually is meant to be in the game, is that you can get a Hyper, or you can actually get one of these personalities that increases your stats by 10%, but you don't have to take one of the negative ones. So also in Pokemon, if you want a nature for something good like for speed, you're going to have to as well take one that decreases a different stat. Whereas in Loomian Legacy, you could just get, for example, Hyper, and you don't have any other stat that decreases, which also is really, really good. But on the other side to that, which also if you get one of these and not one of the decreasing personalities, then also that is the best abilities to get. It looks like you actually can't get 2 of them. you only can get a 1 plus. I feel like having all of your stats have the chance to get increased would be a bit too OP. At least having two get an increase without any downsides would be a little bit broken. But on the other side, to having only one of the hypers, for example, or the plus ones, you can also have a very rare chance to get a negative one, which also means that if you get one of these, you don't get any benefits from it, you just lose 10% of that specific stat. So, for example, if I got Frail and that was my only personality, I would lose 10% of my attack, which is pretty bad, because also then I don't actually get anything that increases my stats, so also that'll be pretty bad. So, obviously, there is that. From what I would personally recommend is that I feel like energy is going to be a big part of this game. If you're playing through the game normally, like just PvE or just the storyline mode or the adventure mode, whatever you want to call it, I definitely feel like you don't really need to worry about personalities too much. But it also, it would probably just be nice just to increase your main attack. So also if you're picking, I don't know. Let's have a think. If you're picking Fevan, for example, Fevan has a monster attack stat, so you probably want to go for a brawny personality, just for like also the adventure modes. And if you are running a Eaglet, Eaglet has a really good special attack or range attack, so you probably want to go for a smart personality for your playthrough of the adventure. If you're worrying about PvP low, also, all of them are still really good, and also most people will be trying to get a single increase stat without the decrease. A decrease to your stats could be helpful in certain situations, like for example, if you are using a special attacker or a range attacker, which also have these two stats, and you are not using your physical attack whatsoever. Also, there are like certain moves from Pokemon that's like, I don't know, foul play, for example, which uses your attack against you. So getting a frail attack for a special attacker could be somewhat good, but obviously if you're running a mix set, then you probably don't want to decrease your attack, because that means you're doing less damage as well. So there are certain situations where these can come in handy, but most of the time they're probably not. I mean, the only other one that I can really think of is having a sluggish nature, is if you're running something like a Trick Room team. Also, the slowest monster line goes first, so also it would actually be beneficial for you to have a decrease in speeds. But for most of the PV monsters, I was actually going to call them Pokemon. For most of the PvP Loomian monsters, I feel like the having energy now being a factor in also is your PP from Pokemon moves. Also, the more energy you have, also the more turns you can go without having to regenerate your energy. So, I definitely feel like a hyper energy, it could be really good, especially if they are a tank. So also then you can get like more heals off and such like that. And just be more annoying. But also, I mean, there's a lot of stuff like, also if your Loomian's really quick, you probably want to just go for a speed or one of the attacking options. Also, if you're a tanky Loomian, which we are assuming that Gastroke probably will be, seeing as it's a fat blob, would probably want to have an energy increase, or either also one of its defenses. So it really depends on how you want to run them, but I thought I'd quickly do a video. Again, shout out to Aaron for actually putting these together, because I deleted all of mine. I didn't really want to buy all of them again, so I will leave his Twitter link in the description if you guys want to go follow him. So, yeah, but let me know, do you think that it will be a little OP? I mean, again, we don't really know how rare it actually is to get a single personality trait rather than having just also the ordinary two. But again, at the same time, we can as well get like a decreased nature. If someone starts their game and they only get like, for example, a sluggish personality and they don't get a plus whatsoever, that would suck. So I'd definitely recommend you start your game if you only got a decreased nature, just to try and get something at least better. But definitely feel like it's going to be a lot better. Also, as well, for breeding and stuff like that in Pokemon, if you gave one of your Pokemons a Nature Stone, that would always pass over the personality, the same nature to the offspring. In this game, if there's something similar to the Nature Stone, we don't really know what's going to be passed over. Like, are we going to get both of, like, for example, if I have a hyper and I have a sluggish personality, there's one of my pluses, there's one of my decreases. Will we get both of the personalities, or will we just get one of them and it's a 50-50 for which one we actually get? And then is the other one just random? Then obviously if we only have a single one, for example, if we only have robust as a personality trait and we don't have any decrease in it all and we use the equivalent to the nature stone if there is one in the game, then will we just get robust as a personality, or will we get a second one as well? Does it count for the fact that it only has one, or will it try and give it another one as well? So we don't really know too much, really. We actually don't even know if breeding is going to be in the first release of the game. I think in Pokemon Brick Bronze, it actually took them a few updates, so most people are thinking that it won't be in the first update and we'll have to wait a little bit, but I don't know. I think this is pretty cool. Also, there are a lot of benefits that we can actually get from this, from also having energy now. I feel like energy is going to be pretty important, but I feel like I'll probably be sticking with speeds, and then also, I guess these 5 mostly, but most of the attacks and the speeds I'm probably going to be worried more about. So, yeah. I guess we'll have to see, because 10% is also going to be really, really good, especially for energy, so we'll have to really see. But anyway, I think that's where I'm going to leave it off. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.